Texans back on the practice field preparing for the Las Vegas Raiders. Landry and Cody Stoots with you. We'll also be with you this Friday at BB's Tex Orleans out there in the greatness of Kingwood. We hope you'll be out there. We'll be out there around 3. Voodoo Happy Hour live broadcast. So be sure to join us for some fun at BB's Tex Orleans.
Yeah, we love getting up on the north side. Had a lot of fun last time we were out there at BB's and that Voodoo Happy Hour. Whew, you can have some fun on that Voodoo Happy Hour. Good food and fantastic drink special. So get on out there. We'll see you there.
There you go. Fun on the Voodoo Happy Hour. We'll also be at Spanky's on Saturday watching the Texas A&M game, which kicks off at 11. Not an event. We're just going to be watching football. We drink beer, watch football, go to bars. We're going to watch the game at Spanky's if you so choose to join. Let's get into this practice report, Cody. A couple of areas of concern when it comes to the practice report, the injury report. Obviously, what sticks out the most is you look at the cornerbacks. Both your starting corners, Derek Stingley and Kamari Lassiter, they do not practice. Woody Marks and Azeez Al-Shire, they do not practice. EJ Speed, he does not practice. Trent Brown does not practice. And then Rankins and Autry don't either. I will note that Autry, Rankins, Brown, Speed, Marks, Lassiter, and Al-Shire did not practice last Wednesday either. So that's kind of where you get your rest days. Tomorrow it'll probably shape up a little bit, but I think the corners is where the focus should be.
Yeah, you do not have anything of substance to back up Kamari Lassiter and Derek Stingley if they're out. And I know that's the Raiders and they don't have anything to write home about from a wide receiver standpoint, so that doesn't worry you. But, I mean, Tremont Smith and – hold on. Let me get my roster. I forgot the guy's name already. Jamarcus Ingram. Tremont Smith and Jamarcus Ingram starting at cornerback for you would not be good.
Well, I mean, it wouldn't be good, but then you look at the Raiders receivers and you're like, oh my goodness. They traded Jacoby Myers, yet he is still, if you putting the tight ends aside, their leading receiver right now is Trey Tucker. He has 46 catches, 574 yards, and 5 touchdowns. By far, the leader in all the active categories. Jacoby Myers is gone. He's number 2. And then number 3 is Tyler Lockett, who got cut by the Titans. So if I'm not going to sit here and say there's ever a great time to have banged up corners, but I would say this is probably the right time to have banged up corners.
Sure. Of the opponents that you would prefer to have 2 starting cornerbacks out, this is the opponent.
There's no one else there. This is the LeBron mixed with Jordan, mixed with Tom Brady. Shitty receivers in the NFL.
Exactly. So if this is the opponent they're going to miss, you still don't want, you don't want Geno Smith to have some, turn back the clock moments to when he was good.
Sure, we sure it's Geno.
You don't want Geno Smith. Well, if it's Kenny Pickett, go ahead and pack this bitch up. Let's go. Go ahead. Why are we even playing if it's Kenny Pickett? But you don't want Geno Smith to have one of those turn back the clock to where he was good for a 6-week stretch in Seattle and dice up Jamarcus Ingram and Tremont Smith. I'll learn his name by the end of the week. I'm not doing that to be disrespectful. I just genuinely have not committed his name to memory yet.
Hey, bro. Alpha Aaron.
I guarantee you Aaron's going to be all over him this week if he starts.
First question to Matt Burke.
That agency's getting tagged.
First question to Matt Burke tomorrow. Jamarcus Ingram, you guys claimed him off waivers. What have you seen from him? What can he bring to the table? And then it'll be filmed on Aaron's phone, and then it's at Sports First Agents at Ingram 443.
Corner depth, man, it's taken a bit of a hit. It's been kind of an interesting roller coaster in regards to corner depth because you really haven't noticed it. They've done a really good job of kind of, I don't know if they're hiding it. They've done a good. They have 2 of the best, so there's that. And then,
well, they have 2 really tough guys that play through stuff that I'm not sure every corner would play through, and they've played a ton of football this year, and you haven't had to go to that third corner too often. So they've been able to hide that third cornerback spot, even when it was Jalen Smith, which, I would have loved to seen more, but he got hurt, obviously. Even when it was Jalen Smith, they didn't put him on the field that much because you had Lassiter and Stingley playing so much. So they've done a good job staying healthy enough to not have to worry about it.
You know what my favorite thing was today? And I was like, man, I get that Cap's got a cap sometimes, brother. And sometimes he's better at doing it than others. But when DeMeco Ryans was asked about the Raiders offense, I was like, how far is he going to take this? Are we going to get to talking about Tyler Lockett being great and this Trey T fella? He couldn't even do that. He brought it back to Max, actually. And I actually thought DeMeco played this very well because sometimes Cap can cap with a purpose. Not even DeMeco could shape his lips to act like he has an ounce of respect for the receivers. Now, there's plenty of respect when it comes to Bowers and Genty, but we did not get into the receivers, which thank you.
Well, I didn't cut the full answer about the Raiders offense because it would have been long because he was very detailed about why he likes Bowers and very detailed why he likes Genty. But
because he knew he had to fill some time.
He kind of had to false start to kind of get going.
Yeah, he's like, I can't just talk about their offense for 6 seconds. I gotta basically break down everything about Bowers. Then I gotta talk about Genty, and then I gotta bring it back to Max Crosby. That's what he did. He did not even try to bring up their receivers. He did not even attempt to bring up their receivers. I think that kind of tells you all you need to know about the state of the receiver position with the Raiders.
Yeah, look, there's two guys you worry about on this Raiders team when they're on offense, and that's Brock Bowers. Certainly after what Trey McBride did last week, Bowers is a focus, and you got to pay attention to him. And then Genty, when he gets the ball, has had some nice moments. They just don't give him the ball very much.
They do not. Well, let's hear him talk about Bowers because he had nothing really to say about the receivers. Let's hear what he had to say about that. Here's DeMeco.
He's a truly dynamic tight end. You don't see many tight ends like him who he aligns all over the field. He's not just aligned at the tight end position. He lines at the wide receiver position, and he runs wide receiver routes. So he presents a tough challenge for us matchup-wise, kind of like on the flip side with Crosby. You got to know where Bowers is at all time, and he does a really great job of catching the football. He can run every route on the route tree, so he's not just a one-trick pony. He can do it all. So I really respect his game. I really loved his game when he was at Georgia as well. I think he's one of the best tight ends in the league right now.
Now, McBride had the big game last week. That's really the only time a tight end has had a huge game against him. Tyler Warren scored against them, but he didn't have some sort of massive, crazy day.
Nah.
Kittle scored against them, but didn't have some sort of massive, crazy day.
That was at the end of half. Yeah, they've done a good job of keeping. We talked about the tight ends. They've actually done a hell of a job when it comes to keeping tight ends in check. And now McBride obviously went crazy, so you're rolling your eyes at it. But I don't know.
I was rolling my eyes at something else that happened.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know that they. What?
Freaking South Florida.
I don't know that he really paid as much of invested in much in trying to stop him.
I do think that you look at what happened last week with Trey McBride, and you say the defense is going to allow that 2 weeks in a row. So there's going to be a different plan, a better plan, you would think, for the tight end who is. I don't think Bowers is as good as McBride right now, and certainly doesn't have the ability to get the ball as consistently. Like if Brissett was Bowers' quarterback, I'd feel better about it than the situation he's dealing with. They have a bad offensive line, the Raiders do. So getting him the football is more difficult than getting McBride the football, but you would think the plan after last week is going to be better for Bowers than it was for McBride.
Yeah, no doubt about it.
And if you take out Bowers, I don't know how they're consistently moving the football.
Yeah, I would say that it would be very hard, very, very difficult, even with the corners out, but who knows what that will look like. DeMeco also was asked about Kamari Lassiter and where he's improved the most. Here was DeMeco talking about Kamari Lassiter's improvement, and who knows whether or not we see Kamari Lassiter and or Derek Stingley, but here's DeMeco talking about what he likes about Kamari Lassiter.
He's He's always had that physical presence, but I think he's grown when it comes to just playing the football. All right, when he's gotten a lot of opportunities of guys, running go routes on him, and he's done a great job of not slowing down when he gets the go route, but still speeding up and finding a way to look back and look up for the football and going and attacking the football at its high point. That's corners have to be able to do that, and he's doing it at a high level. And with the opportunities that he's gotten when it comes to attacking the football, he's done a fantastic job with that. And, the physicality will always be there, but I'm very excited and encouraged by his growth of going up and taking the football away.
A lot of good stuff to say about Kamari Lassiter this year. I mean, there was high hopes for him heading into this season. We watched training camp a couple of different times, and especially that one day in West Virginia, Landry, where Kamari Lassiter was the best football player on the field. And he just took over an entire practice and made it very difficult for the offense and was making play after play in a situation where he couldn't use his physicality. And then we obviously see the physicality and his willingness to step up in the run game. It's just so fun to watch him. He's one of the more fun watches at cornerback. Stingley's no slouch at coming in and helping in the run game too. I mean, he'll stick his nose in there, but Lassiter's physicality and just kind of the certified card carrying psychopath, as he was nicknamed this week. It's just a fun watch.
Yeah, it is. It is a fun watch for sure. I just hope that they get them healthy, and I think they have the opportunity to do so. I actually have two theories I'm going to throw your way in a sec about this week. It's always dangerous when I have theories. I get it. But first, let's hear from the quarterback, CJ Stroud. CJ Stroud talking about the Raiders. Okay. He likes the Raiders defense. I guess you can get down when it comes to the Raiders defense. Obviously, Max Crosby is going to be mentioned. Here's what CJ had to say about the Raiders.
They have a lot of good D linemen. Devin White, has been playing, high level, backer for a long time. Lanning is a great backer as well. And on the back end, they're figuring some things out, but I think, they're up in your face, and do really good in their spot drop zones and, their blitzes, and, they can pressure you at any time. I think, Pete Carroll has been a great coach and a great scheme for a long time. And if you look, man, they've had some close games, for, some teams that are going to the playoffs, and some teams that, we played against that are good. So, this is not a team to slack off on one bit, just like last week. And, we got to be able to, establish, the line of scrimmage early on and then, the pass game and whenever that comes. So, but it's not going to be easy. It's going to be a challenge and we got to be ready for it.
All right.
I'm looking through this Raiders defense is just it's loaded with guys that are past their prime, never had a prime, and Max Crosby. Like Jamal Adams plays pretty significant snaps for them at linebacker, the former safety. Lonnie Johnson plays a lot for them. It's not an impressive defense by any means. I don't know what I know they've had some injuries here and there, but good God, it's awful.
Yeah, it's bad. It's really, really bad, really bad. By the way, Pacific time is 2 hours back, right?
Yes.
Okay, just making sure. Trying to do my math. You know how I am with time zones. My head's exploding over here.
Yeah, it's 4:18 there.
Okay. All right. So there you go. All right. Yeah. Someone, our boy Q over there who runs the Raiders thing was asking if I would talk about this. And he said Pacific time. And I'm like, what the is that?
See, I think when you reach out to somebody and they're in a different time zone, you got to say time, you got to say like 5 o'clock your time, 7 o'clock my time.
Well, if he just said Vegas time, I'd know. Like I can tell you what time it is in Vegas, but I don't know what Pacific time is. Like for me, it's Vegas time. That's it. I don't know anything about Pacific.
Yeah, Landry goes by cities. What time is it in Las Vegas?
No, I go by that city.
What time is it in Denver? What time is it in New York?
Let's go to the chat here on SNL. Landry Locker, Cody Stoots, with you here on a hump day, also known as a White Boy Wednesday.
Swarm.
Dalton Schultz got control of the locker room music today because he said it was White Boy Wednesday. So
Panic at the Disco was blaring. We rolled in.
Yeah, and there were some people. There were 3 guys that I saw that knew all the words to it. Would you care to guess the 3 guys? All right, I'll ask y'all on the chat. 3 guys that I noticed knew every word to Panic at the Disco on White Boy Wednesday. Which 3 guys would you guess? Preteen Green Beans says, if y'all were DeMeco, yeah, he still doesn't have the O, does he? Would you consider resting anyone this game? Sting, Will Anderson Jr., Woody, etc. Love the content y'all put out, by the way. Keep it up. I would err on the side of caution with everyone. I wouldn't just I don't know how crazy you got to be, but the Woody Marks thing is not new. And it's going to go into one of my theories. The Woody Marks thing is not new. We've seen Woody Marks clearly banged up. So that's been an issue for a while. But yeah, I would err on the side of caution against the Raiders. Yes. My answer is yes.
I would say in any time or any player this week where the training staff comes in and is like, yeah, coach, he's really got to kind of push it to get ready. You just say, all right, well, don't push it. So, Woody could go. Well, no. Sting could go. No. I think DeMeco's got to walk in tomorrow, get the update from the trainers, and they got to say, yep, this guy's good to go. And then they play. If there's any kind of got to push through it or got to kind of play through it, err, like you said, on the side of caution and dial it back on them.
All right, on the chat, people guessing about the Panic of the Disco. Who knew all the words? Dalton Schultz was one of them, obviously. Not obviously.
John's the closest so far. John's the closest so far with a Lassiter, Brinkman, Schultz guess.
2 out of 3 ain't bad, my friend. 2 out of 3 ain't bad at all.
Race car.
Brinkman might as well have been dancing.
I thought he was trying out for American Idol.
He said Lassiter. Lassiter was not in there. Jakob Johnson,
Patterson, Schultz, Andrews, Stone Valley going with the we did say it was White Boy Wednesday.
It was Jakob Johnson.
Jakob Johnson. Probably would not have been on the high part of very many people's guesses.
Maybe they were big in Germany.
You know what? There's certainly an opportunity. There's certainly a chance that that's the case. I got to imagine Panic at the Disco had a pretty good run there.
Yeah, German following maybe, but yeah, that was those were the people. So I have 2 theories this week.
Okay,
Ready for these?
Wait, all right, hold on. Before we get to them, let me try to. Is one on offense, one on defense? Is it a big picture thing? Is it a
one is on a rooting interest that I don't know that a lot of people are factoring in.
Okay. Well, I'm excited because sometimes these theories are spot on, and sometimes they're pretty freaking crazy.
All right, so we know who's above the Texans in the standings right now in the playoffs. You have the Chargers, you have the Bills, and you have the Chargers, you have the Bills,
the Steelers, the Broncos, the Jags, and the Pats.
Broncos, Jags, and Pats. So every team above the Texans pretty much can clinch a playoff spot with a win and a Colts loss. It's actually kind of crazy. Like of all the ways to clinch a playoff spot, the Bills can, the Chargers can, and the Patriots can, if it with wins and Colts losses. So with that said, naturally you kind of look at the Chargers and you say, okay, I want them to lose. I want them to lose. I want them to lose because they're above me in the standings. But theory 1 is the Chargers theory. They're going to make the playoffs no matter what. Let's just be honest. It's a 90%, just like the Texans. Both of them are most likely going to make the playoffs. So the Chargers are going to face the Cowboys. And I think you can make a case, because the Texans cannot clinch this week. You can make a case that it would almost be better for the Chargers to win and the Colts to lose, and the Chargers clinch a playoff spot before they face you. First of all, I don't know that the 5 seed is the best thing, although Lamar Jackson does have the flu, and we don't know whether they're going to catch the Steelers or not. But I think it would almost be better if the Chargers clinch a playoff spot and then that game doesn't mean as much to them as it does you. And maybe that's their opportunity to ice up. So I think a case can be made. Normally, you're always rooting against people in front of you in the standings. You can make a case that it would just be better for the Chargers to just clinch the playoff spot and then Texans adjust accordingly, figure it out.
Well, and here's the thing. As long as the Texans continue their winning ways and the Texans keep winning, you'll jump the Chargers when you beat them head-to-head. If you win out, obviously you have a game against the Chargers. It doesn't matter that they're one game ahead of you, because if you finish with the same record and you beat them, you end up ahead of them in the standings. So, as far as lining it up in the standings, you'd like for the Chargers and the Bills to finish with the same record as you, and then you have the tiebreaker over both of them.
Yeah, that's true. But are you buying this theory or not?
I buy this because on the off chance you can jump up to the 3 seed, I would like to play the Chargers again in the 3-6. And then they probably need to win to be in the 6.
The point is that the Chargers have no impact on you in the 3 seed. 0. Zilch, nada, nothing.
Well, you have to win the game.
No. Yeah, you winning, the Texans winning is beside the point. But as far as the Chargers clinching a playoff spot and winning, if you're going to get up to the 3 seed, they have nothing to do with it. That's all Jags. So it's not like they creep up closer to the 3 seed. That's the beauty of the division seeding. So I think the Chargers winning is there. It doesn't seem like you think this theory is too crazy.
No, this isn't crazy at all. And I feel like you should be rooting for the Chargers to win this weekend, because you get if they're winning, they're probably putting a lot into it. And like, the more this team strains, it feels like the more it breaks. Like they feel like they're very close to a breaking point. And then you take care of your business on that Saturday afternoon in LA.
All right. Theory 2. You ready for this one?
Oh boy.
I don't know if you're ready for this one.
I might not be.
The Chubb workhorse theory. Nick Chubb, heavy dose this week. Rest, Woody Marks. This is Nick Chubb's final contribution. Your final contribution. This is the last hurrah. This is the last dance for Nick Chubb. He is getting a large chunk of the pie to keep Woody fresh, be a compliment to Jawar Jordan, and then after that, it's Woody Jawar Jordan time, baby. The Chubb workhorse theory. This is the final string. We're gonna let Nick Chubb go out like the workhorse he's been for a large portion of his career. The Nick Chubb workhorse theory this Sunday.
It's like, it's not a bad theory, because Woody Marks is more important down the stretch, and Jawar Jordan maybe still, he can play that compliment role with Chubb being the top back on Sunday as well. You can still get some use out of Jawar Jordan and get him even more in tune with things. So it's not a bad theory at all. The way you kind of described it is like when they let a wrestler who's about to wrap up kind of like headline a house show before he goes back to being, just a side character on TV. It's like, hey, how about you wrap up this house show, and then we get back to TV, you're going to kind of do your normal thing till it's finished. But you can main event this house show on the way out the door.
Exactly. That's the Chubb theory. Just let him go out there and do his thing.
It's not the worst theory in the world, and it wouldn't be the worst use ever of Nick Chubb. And if you didn't have Woody Marks, or you wanted to keep Woody Marks and his reps really low in this one, you give more to Chubb. And then once you have Marks and Jawar Jordan, and then you have Chubb as just kind of that situational short yard, big back, however you decide you want to use him.
Yep. Make it happen.
These are two good theories. These are not outlandish at all.
So those are the two theories. We're trying to talk about the Raiders today, though. Let's talk about the other running back. What about Ashton Jeanty? DeMeco Ryans was asked about him. It seems like he respects him, and he says, go beyond the box score.
No, they haven't ran for a ton of yards, but when you watch the film and you watch this young man run the football, he's probably one of the best when it comes to contact balance. Like he finds a way to jump through tackles and continue to make guys miss tackle. He plays tough, plays behind his pass, like really tough runner that I respect a lot. Think he has a really bright future, in our league.
I would say he has a bright future too. It's going to be with a different coach, it's going to be with a different OC. But yeah, I think he's obviously a solid player.
Different everything over there. I mean, goodness gracious, they're going to have to just overhaul that thing. The one thing that jumped out to me when he's talking about Genty, and anytime he respects a running back, like really likes them, thinks they're really good, thinks they have some talent, he praises their contact balance. That must be his favorite thing about running backs, when they have good contact balance. Every time, if it's Jonathan Taylor, he said it here with Genty, anytime he talks nice about a running back and you believe him, he's talking about how good their contact balance is.
Yeah, he goes really in depth on running backs, which is really kind of surprising with how the Texans, like, does he just, I would almost.
James Cook was another one. James Cook.
I would almost just wonder, because I'm sure Caserio has a lot of control of a lot of things, but I would just almost wonder, like, what if they just let DeMeco figure out all the backs? Like, from this point forward, let DeMeco have 100% final say on backs.
Well, when we get the draft season and we start looking at running backs and thinking about running backs.
Oh, yeah, I'm already there. Nah, running back. I'm already there.
Contact balance is what we're going to be talking about with all these. Yeah, he's got good contact balance. All right, we'll put him on the radar for the Texans.
I saw the over-under for when Jeremiah Love goes in the draft. I think Jimmy Shapiro sent me that. He sent me those odds. Do you know what the over-under is right now for when Jeremiah Love goes? Like, what pick?
It's like 11.5.
Yeah, that's exactly it. So you probably already looked at it.
No, I promise I haven't. But what I did do is pull up the draft order, and the Kansas City Chiefs picked 12.
Okay, yeah. No, yeah.
They picked 12, and they're going higher in the draft order based on these final few weeks. They're going to go there. That number is going to get smaller next to their name. Okay?
Yeah. Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah. So I would have a hard time thinking that Jeremiah Love gets past the Kansas City Chiefs, and I don't think it's out of the question that the New Orleans Saints would draft Jeremiah Love as well.
Yeah, that's wild.
And the Saints would be doing it because they're just a disaster, and they don't have any idea what they're doing.
On the chat,
Swarm.
Real quick, should the Chiefs be 3 points favorites against the Titans this week?
Probably.
Okay, well, I'm picking the Titans this weekend.
Gustavo says, fellas, great stuff. Looking forward to be at the game and do some tailgating. What's the best lot? I keep hearing blue. I mean, there's no best lot. It just depends where you're going and what you want to do. I don't know what your vibe is. Enough said's up there when it comes to it. I think you have to cash out them a little, and that should be the case because it's bottomless beer. And then our boy
Jorge at Texas Lone Star Trail Gators, Blue Lot 22.
Blue 22. Yeah, Jorge, tell him that Cody and Landry sent you.
Yep, and I think it's I don't remember exactly how much it is, but they ask for you to buy a wristband, and then it's food and beer, and they are always doing something crazy with the food. They brought in Pitmasters one time. They were doing tacos one day when we were there. They always do that, and they always got ice cold beverages for you. So, yeah, Blue Lot, Blue 22, and it's the Texans Lone Star Trail Gators, and you can find them on socials and stuff like that. And again, tell them that we sent you.
Yeah, there you go. So yeah, Cody shall guide you. So there you go. Bada bing, bada boom. So the D line is interesting because you have Togiai and Rankins who are playing well, and you're thin when it comes to depth. It doesn't really overly concern me. I don't know why. Maybe I just think they can find guys and make them rotational guys. Maybe it's overconfidence in the ability for DeMeco and Matt Burke or whoever else you want to give credit to figure something out there. So I asked DeMeco, about the balance and rotation and all that type of stuff. And here's what DeMeco had to say about that.
Defensive tackles, Tommy and Sheldon, they seem like they're kind of in a rhythm. When you're lacking in depth like you are right now with the injuries, do you want to kind of keep them at the same snap count and try to find someone that can keep them fresh, or do you ask them to do more?
With our defensive line, we've always rotated our guys. We take 8-9 guys to the game, so we'll continue to rotate our guys how we rotate them. We're not asking guys to do more or less. We're just asking guys to continue to do what they've been doing.
There you go. So he's gonna. So that like any thought of like these guys are they're gonna try to find rotational guys. I think it's usually 30% of the snaps, and that's what they're looking for. They're looking for guys who can play 30% of the snaps next to Will Anderson, Danielle Hunter, and that's what he's gonna do.
Yeah, that would. I mean, I think the way you phrased it and the way you kind of said it is like they are playing well. If you added a bunch more snaps to them, that potentially affects them and does, change how well they could be playing. Obviously, they picked up Naquan Jones off of waivers last week. And then, he had to play right away, and, they're getting him caught up. And that's it from the official defensive tackles. Like, I know DeMeco Autry's played some defensive tackle, but you can't put him out there as a 1-for-1 replacement for Mario Edwards. So I don't consider him necessarily that guy. So 4 defensive tackles on the practice squad, you have to imagine one of those guys, and maybe 2, maybe both promotions in the practice squad are getting the nod for that defensive tackle spot, and they just try to figure out who that 4th/5th body is at defensive tackle.
Yeah, and I mean they brought in one of your boys today, one of your favorite players, draft pick out of Auburn. Your boy Marcus is back.
Marcus Harris, he was a 7th-round pick in 2024 for the Texans, and a lot of people thought he was going to be a kind of a little steal there late in the draft, and he didn't stick with the Texans and bounced around a little bit. Was on practice squads last year and played a little bit for the Patriots this year.
Who do you think gets in that rotation? There's a couple of guys here right now.
So I think about how they use Mario Edwards and what you would kind of want out of the defensive tackle. And you kind of want somebody that's got just Mario Edwards didn't really scream like run stopper. So I don't think it's a big body run stopper type. So I don't think it's Hey Guy, the international player that they promoted for Kansas City. And I don't think it's Tafuna. So I think it's either Davidson or Marcus Harris, who they just added to the practice squad today. So I would think either Davidson or Harris gets the nod with, obviously they got Naquan Jones already on the depth chart right now. And that'd be your 4. Togiai, Rankins, Jones, Harris, and then kind of Autry.
Yeah, Autry's kind of the one that gets brought up. He's kind of like the dark horse. It's just I don't know how they're going to play it. I'll just say this. I trust them.
That is kind of a position where it's just like, yeah, whatever they decide, I back them on it. Because it's worked for 3 years now. Feels like whatever they've thrown against the wall has worked.
Yep. Malik says, these people are dumb, ? They keep throwing jump balls to Nico in the end zone. He's never caught one. Jaden is much more capable with better hands.
Now, I was accused of misidentifying Malik's mentality on his messages a couple weeks ago. But it feels like he's mad at something that I don't know. Where did it come from?
Yeah, I don't know who said this. I don't know.
Malik, who is saying this?
I think it's his Madden. I think he's playing Madden right now and they're throwing it up to him. I don't know.
I do like slot receiver Jaden Higgins when they get in the red zone. It hadn't paid off recently, but I do like that.
Yeah, I don't know. Are they throwing up jump balls to Nico a lot?
They really haven't thrown the jump balls to Nico up a bunch in the end zone.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I'm missing something.
They love that. I tell you what play they do love is that one where Nico kind of runs to that front pylon, and then Stroud just kind of puts it where only he can catch it right there on the front corner of the end zone. They run the crap out of that in practice and training camp and earlier this year, and we haven't seen it quite effectively in a game yet, but I think it's coming eventually.
Let's go to the tight ends, from the wide receiver to the tight end. Dalton Schultz coming off an 8-catch game, which is a franchise tying high for a tight end when it comes to receptions in a game. Here is CJ Stroud talking about Dalton Schultz and the chemistry they built.
Week in and week out, worked very hard. His leadership has gone to another notch. His run game blocking, and that just doesn't. It just helps more for his route running ability, which I think he's one of the best in the league at. So I'm just super proud of him. Glad he's a brother of mine, somebody I consider a great friend, and it's just really cool to connect to him. I think me and him have a chemistry that we could be looking at each other a certain way. We just know what we're gonna do and make a play. So it's really cool to see. I hope I play with him for a very, very long time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
that last part kind of made me kind of raise the eyebrows a little bit.
Yeah, he's opening it in the last year, which the contract is basically set up to where it could very well be for Dalton Schultz. Who knows? He actually spoke today. I have a question. Where is this team without Dalton Schultz? It's kind of crazy because the tight end position was kind of a polarizing position heading into the season. And you've had the other two guys miss significant time. Brevin Jordan all the time. Cade Stover a large chunk of the time. And it's not like an overwhelming area of strength, but he's held it down to where it's not like an overwhelming weakness.
Yeah, I mean, Schultz has been, compared to last year's Dalton Schultz, this year's Dalton Schultz has been fantastic. And the consistency and availability has been there. I mean, there were times in the first couple of years where he was banged up and unavailable, and you were just trying to piece it together at tight end. But he's been banged up and available and still getting his job done on game days. So he's had a really good performance multiple times this year, and he's been a very solid, reliable player for this offense. And I do wonder, too, if he's sort of it feels like he's the call-out guy where it's like, you're not doing your job right, or you're not, this isn't going right, or that isn't going right. And he's not afraid to go hold a teammate accountable. I mean, I remember a few weeks ago where he was talking to Albert Breer, and he was like, we got guys lining up wrong, and we got to fix that. We can go somewhere where we haven't been as an offense if we can fix things like that.
Let's hear from him. Media availability with Dalton Schultz here on SNL. Let's hear what Dalton Schultz, a little bit of what he had to say right here on SNL.
What's kind of like the full potential of this offense look like?
You're talking about our defense, or
Your defense being so good that now that
our defense and our offense, right?
Right. Like your offense is just kind of waiting to unlock. You guys have made so much improvement since the beginning of the season. So what's like that full potential look like for you guys offensively?
Dude, that's the thing. Is like we don't know. Like we're like striving to find that every day. We're chasing. I think DeMeco on the team meeting today was like perfect. Is like chase perfection, and you'll end up catching excellence. You know what I mean? And I think that's just the mindset. Because to be honest, like I don't think people understand like how good we could really be offensively until like you start actually putting it out there. People start seeing that, and like guys start seeing that, guys start believing. Because really, like we put up 40, but like there's a lot of stuff that we felt like we could have done better and could have led to more success. So like that's just the mindset that we have, and the mindset that we need to keep having as we get into these last few weeks of the season.
Some of those, I guess you can say, points that are left on the table, if you will, in the red zone. How does the game or the field change from when you're like in the 50-yard line to where you're there within 20?
The feeling doesn't really change, like, to be honest. I mean, you're trying to execute whatever you're doing. What does change is just the windows. Like, deep coverage gets tighter, like guys don't back up as much, so like that the windows that you're going to be thrown into and like trying to be in are even more tight than they usually are. So it just kind of heightens your awareness to execute and like get your timing right. Everybody's got to be on the same page. You got to protect. Like the stakes go up. But I wouldn't say it like feels any different than breaking the huddle on a third down, like in the field. You know what I mean? Like just defensive looks tend to change a little bit.
On the way that CJ's seeing field, finding you guys, what are you seeing from him, and especially this past game?
Dude, he's balling. He's so calm this year. Like that's like I guess the word everybody's using right now, but like he really is. He's in there. Like the biggest thing is it's still already offense, so like you got to communicate well, and he's done a great job with that. At the line, obviously, he's got more things to look at, more checks to do. So for us, it's just being able to get out quick and get set so he's got time to go through his process. And he's done a good job of kind of leading us in that regard as well.
He's always talked about kind of leaning on you as a vet when he came in. What's it like when you see the development happen and the dynamic between when you're kind of trying to show him the ways, and then I'm not going to say he's figured it all out, but like y'all's relationship now compared to when he's leaning on you as a rookie?
I mean, nobody's got it all figured out, dude. It doesn't matter if you're year 20 or year 1, like you're constantly striving to improve. And I think just like for him, like I tried to be that because like I had that when I was young. I had older guys that I was able to just like kind of, follow in their footsteps, like get under their wing, like learn from. And I think like with him as a young guy, I felt like I could kind of help him, grow quicker than maybe he would have otherwise. As far as like that now, I mean, there's just a lot of trust built up between us. Like we have a lot of bank reps, you know what I mean? And a lot of time. I mean, I was doing an interview the other day. We see the field pretty much the exact same. And it's been like that since like we got in the room together. And I think that's rare. So just like being on that same page, growing that, building trust with just a bunch of reps only strengthens stuff like that.
Along those lines, how big of a weapon is it when you guys can be on the same page? And it looks like he's improvising when he said you for a touchdown last week in the back of the end zone. Is that the banked reps? Is that what we're seeing? Are you seeing the game the same as he is?
Yeah. I mean, some of those, really like I'd say more it's the on-time stuff.
Okay.
Like the stuff in rhythm, like being in the spaces that we're trying to find, even when the looks change and the looks are different. Being able to just like do that stuff in between, like, I had an old coach that used to say the 2.3 that like it takes to like catch, snap, throw ball.
Right.
I'd say it more so comes down to that. All the off schedule stuff is just like, dog, you're in your backyard, get open, brother. Like it's nothing for you.
Got it.
CJ was just talking about how you guys always knew what you guys had in this locker room, never losing faith after the tough start to the season. Just how different does it feel though to be playing football now on a 6-game winning streak than obviously, starting off 0-3?
Honestly, like, to be honest, the mindset is the same. Like, you call us crazy if, we were 0-3 with that same mindset, but like seriously, we were. We're preparing every week like it's our last week. Obviously, it helps when you've had success on the field, like the confidence aspect of it. Like when you're going out and you're executing well, like that comes with a different sort of moxie. But I would say like, the mindset, all in all, it's been the same. And I think DeMeco's done a really good job of leading with that and making sure that guys are on that page. Because, dude, we knew it. It's a long season, man. And, like, still, there's how many games left? Three games left? Like, that's a long time. You know what I mean? Like, a lot can change and a lot can happen in 3 games. So you got to make sure that you carry that mindset the right way into every week that you play.
All right, there we go. Dalton Schultz. Not a media availability as often, but yeah, he does his thing, dude. Dude is his go-to.
He also threw in a dog in there in the middle.
Yeah,
he's like, what about the off-schedule stuff? Dog, just get open.
He's having a good season. Yeah, it is the off-script stuff is I don't know if that's just kind of CJ using his super skills. So there you go.
If you had to bet, is Dalton Schultz on this team next year?
I would say probably not, but my biggest fear is that they overdo it.
In like giving him basically 2 more years.
Yeah, if he's going to be back, I think you just gotta. It's got to basically be basically a 1-year deal again. But I could see them overdoing it. Yeah, I'll say he will be.
I would like to just take this year's scenario and just run it back again, where he's good for 2026, and then 2027 basically is, if it goes bad, he's gone.
So does that mean just don't do anything with the contract?
No, I would like to lower the cap number.
Yeah, I mean, what if they just keep the contract then?
I mean, it's not the worst idea in the world. I mean, there's probably better ways to manage it and do it, but there's not the worst idea in the world.
Well, I mean, it's franchise tagging him one time instead of the 2 times that they did when they laid it at the cut. Basically, they franchise tagged him twice instead of once. So this would be like basically a not franchise tag.
His cap hit's 2.5 more, or 2.5 times larger next year than it is this year. So in theory, you'd like to kind of make it more workable, not just have him play out, as is.
Yeah, we'll see how it goes. It has been a complete flop from what Dalton was last year to this in a good way. Let's get an update on the injuries. You knew it was coming.
Hey, bro, Alpha Aaron here.
Aaron asked for some injury updates.
I think flip is what you were looking for, not flop.
Flop, flip. I mean, you flop pancakes and it's a flip. Like, it just depends what kind of terminology you use. Like, you flop it. Are you flipping it? No, you flop the pancake. Can.
All right. Alpha Aaron asked about injuries, and well, he didn't get much.
All of our guys they're on their individual plan of how we'll manage them throughout the week. And as I always say, we'll see how the week goes with those guys and see where we end up.
I have a theory from earlier this week. I know you're the theory guy, but I have a theory.
Give me a theory.
So Monday, DeMeco Ryans is talking, and he just he got asked about injuries, and then he just kind of volunteered that Mario Edwards is out for the year. I think he did that so that Aaron couldn't break the news. Just like volunteered it right in the middle. I don't know that it was like, I'm sure they knew, but I think just, hey, let's just go ahead and get this out there so nobody else breaks the news.
You think DeMeco didn't want Aaron to get the news, huh? So there's a little beef there.
No, I think it's just, it could be Aaron centric, or it could be just not having the news distributed unless they're distributing it centric. But the fourth string, third string, whatever he is, defensive tackle getting hurt, it's not going to be on the Schefter, Rappaport, Garofolo, Rossini radar. But it's absolutely something that could end up on the Aaron radar. And so they just took it off his radar before it could happen.
Nah, bro. I was the first one with that Khalil Davis news, bro.
The best is, I had it, bro. Oh, yeah? Why didn't you report it?
Easy. This is a good question by Brandon. Did Kamari do a back flop after his INT? No, because he landed on his feet. It's the 180. A 180 is not a complete turn. Like a 180 is not a complete turn. So you can flop the pancakes over, flop it over, flop the pancakes.
You trying to make flop happen is great.
Flop happens. Flop the pancakes. But the flip is the full thing. But the 180, a 180 can be a flop.
Okay, so you're saying a flip is a full rotation, a flop's a half rotation?
It can still be a flip, but if you're talking about a 180, just kind of a flipped it over, flopped it over, whatever. So there we go.
Okay, now Patrick asks a good question. Can you belly flip at the pool?
No, a flip's a flip. But you belly flop. But you do kind of go from parallel to down. So I think flip has more grace than flop. Flop to me feels like a messy. Flip to me feels like more in tune. If you want to get mathematical, a belly flop is you're like this and you go down. So you're going 90 degrees, right?
Perpendicular to horizontal.
So you're going 90 degrees.
Yeah.
Right? A 180 is a complete change, right? So we're talking 180 here, 180 here. A flip is basically 360, right? So a flip is going 360.
Correct, because
a flop is going 90. So we're going to 180. So we're going from 360 to 180. That's 180, and we're going from 90 to 180. So actually, the flop is closer when it comes to a 180.
I'm lost.
Y'all's brains aren't there yet, but I'm just telling you.
Get the whiteboard.
Okay. Let me see. Hold on.
No, I'm just kidding. I don't want the whiteboard. I'm kidding.
But if a 180, if we're talking 180 degrees is a change, you can make a case that a flop, because a belly flop is 90 degrees, that's closer than a flip. A flip's 360.
Gotcha.
Yeah. You got to go a full 360 degrees to flip.
How did we get on this?
I think dialogue in the chat and
High-grade marijuana called Kush on the streets.
perhaps. But you got to really think about it. Like if you're getting to a 180, what's closer to a 180? Is it a flop, which is 90 degrees, or is it a flip, which is 360? Y'all are the one. I can't help that I'm on this level. I'm trying to bring y'all up.
Well, mathematically, 90 is closer to 180 than 180 is to 360.
Exactly. That's my point. That's why I said it was a complete flop with Schultz, because 90, you're agreeing with me. See, you're there. Thank you. Don't fight it. You're there. You're there.
Okay.
Yeah. Because a flip is further away. Thank you. See, there you go. I just taught him and he doesn't want to admit it. I
think we have verifiable different definitions of flip flop and flip flops.
Evan says Landry's mathematics. Do not do that. Do not do that. Is there anything else that we wanted to touch on in regards to the Raiders? Obviously, Max Crosby is a big topic. Poor guy.
He should request a trade.
He just stayed so loyal, but he does have the respect of his peers, including DeMeco Ryans and CJ Stroud. Let's hear both the quarterback and the head coach, two faces of the franchise, talking about the face of the Raiders franchise, which kind of a tough spot for old Max.
Max Crosby definitely sticks out amongst that defense. He's a very disruptive player, run game and pass game. He does a really good job playing with good effort, finishing. So he's a guy we're definitely have to have awareness for of where he is. He'll align at both sides at any given time. So we have to know where he is, and we have to make sure, we're outworking him. So we got to get hands on him. We got to finish him. He's a good player. We got good players. We just got to outwork him.
He can wreck a whole game, and he's done it year in and year out. And I just think he's a heck of a player. Has a motor. Doesn't stop, doesn't quit. So we gotta make sure we take care of that and try our best. Slow him down. It'll be a fist match up there. Or a fist fight. Up there every play, and I know he's ready, and we'll try to be ready as well.
Yep, always a battle. He's always battling. I just at some point.
Two things about Max Crosby. One, he should request a trade in the offseason. I know he doesn't want to.
He doesn't want to be the face of asking for a trade, but yeah.
Sure. But they should trade him, or he should request a trade. Two, I think he has one of the most uninspiring burgers named after him that I've ever seen in my life.
Okay, I want to hear this.
So the Raiders have a relationship with a casino that is way off the strip, and that's where they stay the night before games. It's called the M Resort. And me and Mama Stoots stayed there a couple of years ago. She had like a free night there. So we stayed there. And in their little sports bar, there's the Mad Max burger.
Okay.
All it is a beef patty, Swiss cheese, mushrooms, and onions. That's it.
But that might be what he eats. I don't
Sure.
know. Yeah, I think it's probably what he eats.
But that's not a cool burger.
No, it's not. But it's probably just, hey, what do you like? And that's just what he picked.
Right. But I thought it was a very uninspiring, specialty burger. It's like it's got grilled mushrooms and grilled onions on it with Swiss cheese. That's it. We don't have a special sauce. We don't have it doesn't come with onion rings instead of fries. It was like, oh, okay, it's a mushroom Swiss burger with onions. Cool.
What would your burger be?
It'd be I just would put a disgusting amount of things on my burger.
Put it on it right now. What's the burger?
Obviously, we're gonna go 2 patties on this. We're going to do cheddar cheese for one slice of cheese and American cheese for the other slice of cheese. Grilled onions, thick cut bacon, and then maybe like a spicy barbecue sauce on it as well.
Doing too much, brother.
You don't like toppings on burgers, though.
Okay, I probably like more toppings than you. What do you don't get? What do you not like? You don't like pickles, right?
I hate pickles.
Yeah, so you're a cornball. I'm getting lettuce, tomatoes, onions, jalapenos, 2 pieces of cheese, ketchup, mustard, mayonnaise on Texas toast.
Ooh, Texas toast is a nice twist.
Texas toast. Yeah.
Texas
so just basically jalapenos with all 3 sauces and Texas toast.
So nice. That's a nice twist. I like that.
Yeah, the Texas toast is kind of the game changer there. Evan says Texans flopped the season around after 0-3. I don't think they flipped or flopped. I don't think this is a flipped or flopped situation. Because it was fluid. Like in order to flip or flop, there has to be like this is kind of fluid. So I don't know whether they flipped or flopped it.
You know what? When it comes to flips and flops,
Quite frankly, I'm tired of talking about it.
Yeah. Hey, when we go down the rabbit hole, we go down the rabbit hole. But yeah, I don't think they flipped it around. Would it be any weirder to say flipped or flopped? They flipped the season around?
I think that would sound better than they flopped the season around.
No, because a flop, you can't flop it around. Like we've been around, we've been through this. Like you don't, a flop doesn't go around. We're done with this.
Thank God.
I take Cody to class. He learns, and then now these are like the distracting people, the kids in the back that are ruining this kid. I taught this young man the art of the flop, and now you are basically taking him to the back of the school and smoking weed.
Quite frankly, I'm tired of talking about it.
And poisoning his brain. That's where we're at. Damn shame. You think the Raiders travel this week? They have a pretty passionate fan base. They're not going to travel this week, right?
I think they have a fan base that's pretty supportive regardless of the record, and it's a somewhat national fan base. And so I would think that there's some Raiders fans that live in Houston that this is one of their only chances to see their team in person, and they may be there
too,
no matter what.
It'll be cheap too.
Yeah, it's not going to price of admission is going to be much nicer.
Yeah, these are going to be real cheap. You want to go to a game? I bet you get in there for under 20 this week.
Probably. Yeah, you probably could.
Yeah, it's going to be like that. When I hear flop, I think of LeBron James. That would be a good thought. That'd be a good thought there. All right. Anyway, appreciate everyone for rolling through. Be sure to subscribe. Be sure to like. Be sure to ride along. Be sure to join us this Friday for Football Friday at BB's Tex Orleans. Tomorrow, Nick Cayley will speak. We'll hear from him. We'll hear from Sussy. We also got a special interview planned. We might save it for the holiday season, but I've wanted to talk to this guy for a while. I got some questions that have really very little to do with football. We'll talk some football, but very little to do with football. Appreciate y'all for rolling through. Always remember when it comes to the.
Hold on. There was a commercial for microwave bacon on my TV a second ago.
Yeah, they have that.
Microwave bacon doesn't need commercials, man.
No, but it's good. It's actually
Is it good?
Yeah, it's not bad at all.
I may have to try some microwave bacon.
It's basically like it's not elite, but like if you go to McDonald's or something like that or Wendy's and then like you get a bacon, egg, and cheese, something like that. It's basically like that. But that one's like high quality right there.
I'm gonna go try it.
Yeah, it's solid. You like it extra crispy or you like it kind of light like that?
Depends where I'm eating the bacon. If I'm just having it with my eggs, I like it to have a little chew to it. If I'm putting it on a burger, I like it to be crispier.
I'm about that crisp, bro. But bacon, I like bacon. I think it kind of got overdone. There was like a phase where it was like, oh, let's put bacon in cotton candy. Let's put bacon in chocolate. Let's put bacon in everything. It's like, man, it's good, but it's not like that. Is there anything that like you do think makes everything better? Like, because there's not too many things where I'm like, with the way that they did the bacon shit, that it works.
I don't think there's very many universal things in food. Like, people will wedge some stuff in there. It doesn't make sense. I'll tell you I'm over now, and it's been popular for too long. Hot honey.
Dude, I never get it. I don't like it. It's so overrated. I don't understand it. You were getting hot honey pizza though at Spanky's.
Sure, I like it as a nice change of pace every now and then, but people will put hot honey on everything now.
Hot honey. They're basically trying to make hot honey a condiment, like a popular condiment.
Your haluva good dip people have a hot honey dip.
Yeah, they're just mixing it up with a little bit.
We got like hot honey burgers at fast food places and all this kind of stuff. It's just like too much. It's too much.
Yeah, that's not for me. Appreciate everyone for rolling through. Always remember, when it comes to this Texan stuff, whether you're flipping or flopping, we're all in it together.
Eat good, sleep good, be good. We'll talk Texans again soon. Thanks for watching, everybody.